What's up, guys? Before we hop right into the trade recap, I want to let you know about Tradeify's sale that they have going on right now. These are literally the best accounts that are out right now, the best prop firm. You can even get daily payouts on their select accounts. If you use code TELS at Tradeify, you can get 30% off all of these accounts. If you're interested in getting some accounts before this 30% off sale ends, I'll leave a link in the description to check it out. Beautiful setup today. We caught about 35 points on NQ. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Let me delete all of this so I can draw out everything that I was looking for today and show you guys. So first thing I was looking for was some 4-hour or 1-hour fair value gaps. The first one that I noticed was this one right here. And then all the way back here, we had this one right here. So this was the only two gaps that I had drawn out. And then I was looking on the higher time frame to look for my draws on liquidity, which were these relative equal highs right here, as well as all-time highs right here. Over the last couple of days, we have been pretty much this whole last week, we've been extremely bullish. So continuing my higher time frame bias from yesterday and just, last week as well. Pretty much strictly longs today just because of that higher time frame bias. Now this level right here where I have this box drawn out was very strong. As you can see, we rejected here, 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 and kind of around here as well. So this level was very strong. So I was a little bit cautious about that. But ultimately what I was looking for coming into market open was a retest of this zone right here, possibly even to come down and take out Asia lows and then hold off of this 4-hour FVG, which it was this one right here. I wanted to see us come down, respect this FVG, possibly take Asia lows, ideally take Asia lows, which, spoiler alert, didn't happen. We did come down and respect it beautifully. So I hopped onto the 1-minute time frame at market open. All right, so coming into open, I wanted to see us reject out of this area, then create a 5-minute fair value, a bullish fair value gap, respect it, and then I wanted to see us get a 1-minute inversion. So that would be a bearish fair value gap that gets inversed to basically play as an inverse fair value gap. Market opens, we immediately dumped down into this zone like you can see here. Now right here, I did think that we were possibly going to come take out Asia lows. That's what I wanted to see, but ultimately I wanted to see us hold this zone most importantly, which we started to do here. As soon as I started to see this little bit of rejection, I hopped onto the 5-minute, I hopped onto the 15-minute. We had a really nice bottom wick out of that zone on the 15-minute. So after seeing this initial rejection beautifully out of that zone, I hopped onto the 5-minute, and now the next thing I'm waiting for after holding a higher time frame, that is the 1 or 4-hour fair value gap, which we got right here. I want to see a 5-minute fair value gap get formed. We waited and we waited and we waited, and we got a 5-minute fair value gap formed right here. So I went ahead and marked this out like that. Now, keep in mind, I was a little bit cautious because we were in this strong area right here, which was this 4-hour fair value gap, from a couple of days prior. My overall sentiment and daily bias was long, so I was prioritizing longs over everything. And especially after we held this low right here as well, I believe that ES took out its Asia low. No, it didn't. So it took out its London low a little bit pre-market, but ES was ripping as well right around here. So we were moving uniformly. I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I'm trying to say, across both indices. So right here, a 5-minute fair value gap forms. Now I want to see us respect this fair value gap. So I want to see us tap back into here. Ideally, I wanted to see us come all the way back down to here, just since right down here to up here was a 130-point move, a little over 130-point move. So it was a pretty big move. I did want to see us come down to get a little bit of a bigger retracement down here. But as long as this fair value gap that got formed after the hold off of this higher time frame FVG gets held, that will validate the setup. So next candle comes, we don't test it. Now I wait again. Boom. We tested it right there beautifully and held out of it. Extremely strong 5-minute close. Obviously, we're very bullish. Our higher time frame trend is bullish. Not only are we bullish here and holding off of this gap, but we are also now holding above these pre-market highs right here, as well as London and Asia highs. So pretty much every single thing right here was screaming longs to me. Going back out onto like the 2-minute or the smaller time frames, you can see even more clearly how well we held off of this FVG, which is that 5-minute FVG, which is this right here. Retraced into it very bearishly, and then we rejected out of it. Now, after that, I was looking for an inversion. So a bearish FVG was formed right here on the 1-minute. Now so we've got two out of our 3 confirmations formed, right? We had the higher time frame zone, higher time frame FVG being held out of right here. We have our higher time frame bias, which is long. Okay, perfect. Both of those line up. So I guess I should technically say 2 out of 4. Next, we look for a 5-minute FVG to be formed on the bounce, which was this right here. Then we drop down to one smaller time frame and look for this FVG, this zone to be respected, which it gets respected right here on the respect on the whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, on the respect of that 5-minute FVG that formed. We now created this bearish FVG, which I want to see get inversed on the 1-minute time frame. So pretty much all I'm looking for now is a close above that box, which we ended up getting not right there, but right there. I got a little bit of a good fill, as you can see right there. Candle closed here, so I honestly should have filled there, but I filled a little bit lower. And I put my stop loss right just below that low. And then the one sus thing about this trade was now you can see that we have started to actually come above this zone. So a 1-minute closure just above this zone kind of really just made me sold on long. So I got rid of that box, and now we were officially in longs right here. Stop loss right at that low. Now the one thing was I didn't really know where to put my TP, right? Usually I will target the liquidity draws that I have marked out, but that is all the way up here, which is 200 points. That's not to say that that eventually won't hit today. It's you know, very possible that it could. However, that's very well out of my comfortability of my size of my trades. So all I did was run a 1-to-1 initially on this, which was like that. I did go back actually and look for a spot that I could mark out to possibly put my TP. The first thing I noticed was this 1-hour FVG right here. So I noticed this 1-hour FVG from all the way back here that was still untested. Coming back onto today's session, ended up moving my TP down to the top of that 1-hour FVG. And as you can see right here, it actually ended up being really good for us. So anyway, let's go back to our entry. I was looking to go break even after around 20 points on this thing. We didn't get it. We got into a little bit of drawdown right here. After this little consolidation area, I thought that maybe we did so. As you can see here, now we were rejecting out of this 1-hour gap, which, you know, it did start to scare me a little bit. And then I marked out that high of day right there. And I said, okay, once we get to that high of day is when I will go break even on this trade. Still running a 1-to-1 at this point. We ended up coming down a little bit into drawdown. And then obviously following our rules, we stayed in it. We got back up. We hit our high of day right there. Right there, I went break even on the trade, and then I actually moved my SL or my TP to the very top of that 1-hour FVG because I saw that this was a very strong area of rejection. As you can see, rejected here, here, and then we kind of did a little bit right there. Overall, I pretty much thought that this FVG was possibly going to get filled, and then we would start to reverse. Pretty much anywhere there's an area of possible reversal is where we want to put our TP. So I moved my SL to break even once we took out this high of day. So it's a risk-free trade now. And I moved my TP down to there, which ended up getting hit right there. It was a really, really good exit because right after that, we dumped a little bit. I actually would have stayed in this. So even if I did hold to, I think like up here where my original TP was, that eventually would have got hit right there. But I think I did the right thing, moved my stop to break even, so it was a risk-free trade. And, you know, looking back on it, this was a beautiful exit. Look, we literally top-ticked that, and then we dumped back down all the way almost to break even. But we are still uptrending very bullishly on the day, which is good, just furthermore confirming my higher time frame bias. We are starting to chop around a little bit and really starting to respect this zone. Main move today was right here initially, you know, about 15-20 minutes into open. This move right here, if you were able to catch anything on there, it was super clean delivery. Could have taken even a trade off of this. It had a little bit less confirmation for me, which is the reason I didn't. But this 15-minute close out of that gap that we were looking at earlier right here was beautiful. And then if we hop down onto, say, the 2-minute time frame, we can see that we created a fair value gap right there, which got inverse right there at that close. You could have taken longs right here. Personally, it wasn't enough confirmation for me. I wanted to see more upside structure be formed before taking my own stab at longs, which we ended up getting up there, and it was a dub. But you could have taken this if you were feeling a little riskier, probably about either could have put your stop loss here or here. I probably would have put it right here, and then you obviously would have caught pretty much as you wanted on that. But that's pretty much the setup from today. Super simple, guys. All it is, higher time frame draws on liquidity and higher time frame bias, which for me today, and yesterday was obviously long, so we were looking for longs. And then we want a higher time frame fair value gap, which is on the 1 hour or the 4 hour or even the 15-minute, but I prefer hourlies just because they tend to be respected a lot more, as you can see right here. Then we wait for a 5-minute fair value gap to be formed, which is right here. It gets respected. Perfect. That confirms a bullish structure, lining up with, once again, everything else. And then we get the 1-minute inversion right there where we enter and stop loss at that low. And, you know, put your TP wherever you feel comfortable with. And that just gives us a very high probability trade, right? Even though we saw some rejection out of the zone, this 1 hour FEG from a couple days ago, I was still very confident in it. The higher time frame, guys, is always going to be your best friend and be the strongest. This 1 hour candle from 9 to 10 a.m. was extremely bullish, closing above all pre-market highs, engulfing these previous 2 red candles completely. So it was just very, very obvious to take longs today. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Great start to the week these last 2 days. Yeah, we took this trade on the 50K accounts, and I think we made about $500 per account, which was beautiful. So that's that, and I will see you guys all tomorrow, hopefully, for another trade recap. Hopefully we get a good setup. I think there is FOMC tomorrow, so there's a chance that I might not trade, but make sure you use code Tels on Tradeify. Tradeify accounts are 30% off until the end of the month right now. I'll leave a link to it in the bio as well as on my socials. Make sure to go follow me on all of those as well. And yeah, guys, that's it. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.